Okay, Greg Irwin and Brad Keselowski are joining us now in the Bluegrass Hall. While we're waiting for Brad, we'll go ahead and hear from our winning crew chief, Greg Irwin, crew chief of the number 22 Discount Tire Ford for Team Penske. This is Team Penske's 50th NASCAR Xfinity Series victory. So congratulations being part of that milestone win here tonight, Greg. Just talk about the win. We were talking a second ago, how exciting it was, and passing there at the end to get the victory. Just talk about that and how you thought, what you thought maybe were the keys to the win tonight.
Well, over and over again, we've seen Brad, not just last year, but certainly the 2013 season, rack up a bunch of wins here in the Xfinity Series, and I know this is a special place for him, and when we sit down and work the schedule out, when he sits down and works the schedule out with Penske management there, he makes sure that Kentucky Speedway is on his list. So I know how bad he likes to race here, and I know how much he wanted to win here, and he came up just a little short last year. The weather really threw us all a curveball. Everybody in the Xfinity garage, with a new tire this time around, left and right side tire for us all, and to only have had a 55-minute practice session was really tough on everybody. So I got to really commend my team and the engineering staff for kind of sticking with us there and purging through it. But the coolest part, I think, I found myself being a bit of a race fan there at the end and watching two really good guys go at it with obviously very, very fast race cars, and I thought that was the fans got their money's worth. And sitting where I was sitting, it was I was kind of on pins and needles there. I thought the last pit stop was critical. The amount of cars that took two tires gave us probably just enough buffer to the 54, and then obviously Erik had a heck of a restart, and does a great job every time he gets inside that car. So to watch Brad be able to kind of run them down and navigate lap traffic like he did was part of the key, and it's always part of the key in the Xfinity Series, being able to get through traffic and pick your lines and have a car that'll work not only on the bottom but on the top. You kind of have to go where they're not at the closing stages of these races, and I've watched him for 2 years do it better than anybody. So the trophy is dynamite. He talked about it in the truck several times before the race. I think that was part of his motivation. Yeah, it's dynamite.
We'll take questions now for Greg. Let's go to the press box. I'm told we have a question upstairs. Question for Greg Irwin.
Yeah, Greg, I was listening to the radio before you guys were about to take the final stop, and I heard a lot of strange things like a blue moon and a tango in November, and I'm just wondering where the code comes from, and if now you guys have to change it for the next race.
Yep. The code is fairly original on a weekly basis, and we kind of pick a theme and go with it. And Brad kind of studies those a little bit at the start of the race, and there's only one or two of those cards made. So the pit crew gets told what we're going to do in plain English, and but Brad and I over the radio and the spotter will only communicate with we'll communicate with some of the theme-based codes that you hear, and that's kind of worked for him. Sometimes you only get to stop 2 or 3 times a race in these Xfinity races, so making sure that the guys don't necessarily know what you're doing. It's just a strategy play.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's hear now from our race winner, Brad Keselowski, driver of the number 22 Discount Tire Ford for Team Penske. Brad, I announced earlier this is the 50th NASCAR Xfinity Series win for Roger Penske. That's a big deal. And I know you wanted one of those Juke Boxes from Crosley, and you've got one. But just talk about your win here tonight. That was some race there at the end. Tracking down a very fast car, the 20 car. It was really cool to see it on the replay how you did that.
Yeah, the
And,
racing was cool, but that jukebox is cool as hell.
Yeah.
I'm really pumped about the jukebox, Kerry.
Good.
Yeah.
Go
Thanks,
ahead.
Mark.
Just
You put together a good I mean, that's awesome. I think more tracks should have cool trophies.
talk about the win here tonight, and what it means to maybe help you set up for tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a little giddy about the jukebox, but I just always wanted one, and I got one for winning a race. It just seems perfect. But winning the race. The car. We had a good car tonight, and I think probably the top three were all real close. Probably a little give or take here and there, run to run, where the sun was out, tires, whatever it might be. Kylo and I at one point had kind of stretched out a pretty good lead, I think, over Erik, and maybe I built up a little bit of a false set of confidence because when Erik got by me there on that last restart, I thought, we'll get right back by him, and it was not easy. Erik drove a great race, and we just I was able to hang with him just enough to pressure him. And he got him in a bad spot with a lap car there. Not really of his own fault, just part of racing. And when it happened, I was able to just jump all over it. So, that's credit to Greg and the team for having a great car to where we could, make the most of the opportunity. And I feel very, very humbled and proud to get to drive a car this good year in and year out at the Xfinity Series level. Because I've been in situations where the cars weren't that way, believe me. And to know every time you get in the car you have a shot at winning, every race, every season, I mean, that's really, really awesome. And something to be proud of. To hit that 50 win number for Roger is special. I don't know how many of them are mine, but I hope most of them are. I'd like to tell something to Roger next time I see him, maybe get a raise. But it's been fun, and we'll keep racing them. I think this is really a key win for me. I was kind of reflecting in Victory Lane. I've really changed the Xfinity schedule over the last 4 or 5 years of what I run, from full time in 2010 to I think I ran 24, 25, and 11, and slowly been reducing. And this year is the least amount of races I've ever ran at the Xfinity Series level, with the land share of them being towards the middle and end of the season, where usually I run towards the start and early middle. And it feels really good to get back in the car. And I feel like I'm a good driver, but when you get in this car and win, that confidence, that momentum, you just feel it in your soul, you feel it in your body, and the energy that you have. It just really feels special, and I'm very pumped about this win today, and feeling very much like we can carry it into tomorrow. I honestly think my Cup car is just as good, so we're ready.
Questions? Let's take the young man on the front row, and then we'll go to Stan. And then
Joey Chapman, PopularSpeed.com. That was an intense restart there with 31 laps to go. When you go 3 wide, we'll start with Brad, and then we'll get your perspective as a crew chief, Greg. That's an intense battle. You're still going for the win. What's going through your mind? What's the worries in that situation? Because it's really tight racing.
Well, what was going through my mind is I had control of the restart and lost it, so I was more so frustrated with myself than anything else, and trying to lose as little bit as I can. I was lucky to hang on to second when it all kind of shook, and by being able to hang on to second, that put me in position to really work over Erik and capitalize on the opportunity that struck at the end. So, just trying to minimize the damage of a poor restart on my part.
Greg, your perspective?
Tough call. 2 tires, 4 tires. With the number of cars on the lead lap, knew that the guys from 5th, 6th, and back were going to come and put tires on. Considered staying out, knowing that this place has been track position quite a bit, but have watched Brad just over the short period of time I've been a part of Penske Racing. Really kind of thrives on that moment. The 2 tire, get him out there, and probably both thought that there would be more cars that took 2 tires, which would have put a little bigger buffer between ourselves and Kyle. and he alludes to the restarts and how critical they are. But being able to hold second place and then watch Erik kind of work lap traffic. We knew we had 30 some odd laps to go, right? So at least half of a fuel run. When it all shook out, maybe we were a second back, and we kind of knew he knew what he had to do there. And I've watched him for 2 years now do that kind of stuff the last 20 laps of a race, and so I had a lot of confidence. But again, as a race fan, that was pretty cool, and that's what these folks come to see, and I hope they enjoyed the show.
Let's go to Stan and then to Chris.
Stan,
go ahead.
Stan Creekmore with RPMtonight.com. Brad, I actually have 2 questions for you. Number one, that last move to take the lead, did you see that coming, or was it just a last-second decision that that's exactly what you were going to do? And then I'll ask you the next one.
I had a pretty good idea how it was going to play out, and just trying to be positioned for it. When it hit, I wish there was a camera on my eyes because they lit up, and I was pumped before I ever made the pass because I knew it was going to be right there for the taking. You just sometimes as a racer you got to be a corner ahead and know what's going to happen before it happens, and I just had a feeling and got a corner ahead, and that was all it took.
Okay, and what song absolutely, positively has to be on your new Juke Box?
Oh man, just one? Wow, that's like the question of all questions. I mean, I feel like a jukebox, and it's not even a song I really like that much, but every jukebox should have Jukebox Here on. I just feel like that's mandatory. Not even that it's the best song ever, but a jukebox should definitely have that on there. Yeah.
Let's go back in the corner to Chris.
Understand? What would you put on it? You don't see, it's a hard question, man. How about you, Commander? You got a song? I need to put a whole list on there. Someone needs some help.
Probably My Old Kentucky Home.
Oh man, that's good.
That's a little
pretty
corny.
good.
Go back over here to Chris.
Chris Knight, catchfence.com. I'll put something on from Bob Seger being from Detroit.
That's fair. Actually, that's one of the best answers I heard. Where was that one? Yeah. All right. Thank you, Chris.
Right.
Good answer.
Yeah. With your victory tonight, you move into the top 5 for all-time NASCAR Xfinity Series winners. Just wondering what that accomplishment means to you. And then also, what kind of respect do you have for Erik Jones? Because when he got past you, he really put the pressure on. He didn't let you go. He tried to battle back, and he raced you pretty clean there at the end.
Yeah, Eric's doing a phenomenal job in everything he's racing right now. He's got a lot to be proud of. His restart skills are top notch, which I don't know if you can really overstate. He's done a great job every time he's had the opportunity to do it. So, I give him a lot of credit. He's got a bright future, and this one got away from him tonight, but he certainly has a lot to be proud of. Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's a cool stat. I don't even honestly know. I didn't know who was coming, who scored, and how many wins ahead are they. That's my next thought. Is I'm pretty sure Kyle's first and Mark's second. Is that right?
Yes, Kyle Busch leads, Mark Martin second. Let me find out the other ones.
Okay. Sam Ard's in there. Is Kevin Harvick fourth? Yeah, Kevin won a bunch of races here over the last few years, so I kind of fell behind him a little bit, but yeah, it's still cool. Thank you.
Carl Edwards, I'm told, is fourth with
Carl
38.
Edwards fourth. Well, where's Kevin at?
How about Kevin Harvick, Mike?
Mike Ford on the mic.
He's third with 46.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike. Mike's upstairs. He's
Good work, Mike Ford. Oh, loop data.
That's right. Any other questions? Gary Graves has one. And then
Gary
we'll go
down here.
Gentleman right here. Go ahead, Gary.
Gary Graves, AP. Back to the restart. Was that just one of those things where, I don't want to say miscalculated, but that you just kind of pushed too hard? And
Gary, restarts are a game of rock, paper, scissors. It doesn't matter what your hand is; it's always beatable. I picked paper thinking I was going to get rock, and I got scissors. That's just the way it went. doesn't really matter who the driver is. If you give enough opportunities, every driver is beatable on a restart. Just the way it is. Just all about timing and, you know, how much you check it up, how much NASCAR lets you get away with. You know, there's a whole bunch of variables for part of it.
Go ahead, sir.
Aaron Bearden, frontstretch.com over here. I looked up the stat for you. It was your 27th win out of the 50. So if you want to start asking for that raise,
yeah. Roger just called me. I missed it, so can you put that over the speaker for me?
There you go. My question for you is with that, with having more than half the wins and being the first one to bring in this championship in 2010, etc., how much pride does that give you, both in yourself and the organization as a whole, as they've grown in the Xfinity Series?
Well, it's been a good ride for sure, and you know, to be a part of Team Penske has been everything I ever dreamed of and more. You know, I thought when I went to Roger Penske we'd have a shot at winning a lot of races and certainly a shot at winning championships, but you know, we've got 3 Xfinity championships together and the Sprint Cup championship. And I think we got a lot more to go. I really do. I think the 22 car this year in owners' points has a really good shot at bringing it home. I think it got the lead by a little bit. And then the Cup side, we have work to do for sure, but you know, I feel like we're going to be right there in the hunt come chase time. Certainly already being qualified, but I'm really hungry to get some more championships. And Team Penske has given me the opportunity to do that. I'm really, really thankful for that. So, you know, I guess I kind of look at it as they've done way more for me than I've done for them. But together we're still very successful, and I'm very proud of the relationship.
Go ahead.
You said the other day that you felt that the 22 team had kind of built a dynasty in the Xfinity Series. And tonight I believe you proved that, but what we're also seeing is that the 20 team, the 54 team, really Joe Gibbs Racing, they're right up there with you guys. Talk about the strength of Joe Gibbs Racing and how they've evolved in the series against you guys.
Yeah, well, you know, they've obviously been in the series a little bit longer than Penske has with full-time efforts and so forth. And we're at 1 car, and I think they're at 3 teams. And it's different approaches for sure, and I don't think one's probably better or worse than the other. But we're proud of ours with having the multiple drivers and so forth. But I think it's a perennial contender for the championship. And my guess is that Penske and Gibbs will go neck and neck for the Xfinity Championship and Cup Championship for many years to come. And in the end, it's our fans that benefit.
Brad, Greg, congratulations. It was an exciting victory here tonight at Kentucky Speedway. Enjoy that Juke Box, Brad.
Will do.
And I believe there's another one that could be won here tomorrow night with the Quaker State 400. So
yeah, a bigger one, too. They told me the other one's twice as big. I don't know where it's at, but
yeah.
I'm a man. I want the biggest one. You know?
Congratulations to the
Thank
number
you guys.
22
Appreciate
team.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah.